What's up, guys? Happy, what are we at, Thursday? Yeah, Groundhog Day. Hope you guys doing all right. Staying warm, staying cold, keeping power. Some of those are more than I could say, man. I woke up twice today. Just pitch black and cold. We were rolling blackouts here, so I suppose I should, lay that disclaimer. If I just disappear, probably just means Texas lost power again during this ice storm that we got. Hopefully you guys are doing all right. Hopefully you guys had a good night last night. Really, really solid. I guess if we go back to the Discord, picks that we researched on this stream and that I stuck with later in the night. Ended up running Şengün over 10.5 rebounds as a core. Anthony Edwards over 10.5 rebounds assists as a core. I will say, both of these were kind of a late sweat, but they got there, so ball don't lie. There was like a point in that Rockets game where there was like 7 minutes left, or maybe 5 minutes left, and Şengün wasn't even on the court. They were using Bruno Fernando. I was like, here's what we not gonna do. And Şengün came back in, and he cleared it by 2. And then he only had like one or two rebounds in the first quarter, and just surged for 5. So that worked out well. Anthony Edwards also made us sweat. They went to overtime, but he hit it at the end of regulation and then just chilled. So thought that maybe with Rudy Gobert after the fact being out, that would have helped. But what are you gonna do? Embiid cleared his first half fantasy points. Kyrie Irving, they got smoked, 6 assists. That was never the most warm and fuzzy one, but it is what it is. Claxton under 14.5 points. That worked out. Sabonis over 20.5 first half. PRA just absolutely smoked it. Jeremy Sohan got injured, so we'll blame injury, but he was like 0 for 4, 0 for 5 before going to the locker room, and then DeAndre Ayton over 9.5 first half. So essentially 2-0 on the core, 4-2 on the leans. An injury there. We'll take it. Hopefully you guys made some dough off of that, and hopefully tonight gives us some opportunity to double down. What up, Travis? What up, Moose? What up, Robert? What up, John? Yeah. Cam, after our discussion last night, the Canadian groundhog was found dead. Wait, are you serious? No, I don't even know. See, that's one of those things, if it was true, I would believe it. 2-day winning streak. Can we make it 3? Yes, sir. 2 picks and printing the money. Yeah, 2 picks is, hey, man, you can't go broke making a profit, as they say. Apologize for the Sohan play. It was Cam's fault that we even looked at Sohan. Cisco looking. No, I'm just kidding. I hope he's all right. He got injured. He was taking the shots. Tillman seemed like a good play last night, at least on Yahoo. Yeah, and he drew the start. A lot of us were projecting Brandon Clark to start, and Tillman started, so good for him. Here, what up, Gilbert? What up, Aldo? Anyway, we got like 7 games tonight. We still got the DFS show after this, so let's try and attack the spots that are most fruitful, and hopefully we can come up with a list, maybe 5, 6, 7 of them. We can throw in a blender tonight. Lakers at the Pacers. We got 240.5 total, 2-point spread. So a lot of implied possessions, a lot of implied scoring. The return of Tyrese Halliburton. Not quite sure what to expect from Halliburton in terms of minutes, so maybe we'll let a blurb from DK do the talking. What up, Kickstart? Here. Log back-to-back full practices on Tuesday and Wednesday. Expect to return from 10-game absence due to left knee contusion. Carlisle did add that he's not sure if the third-year guard would be able to handle a full workload, averaging 33 minutes for it, but the Pacers presumably wouldn't clear Halliburton if they didn't think he could play at a high level. So I don't know what to do in terms of minute projections. I think it's fair to just chill at 28 for now. That's more of a DFS question mark, but it does matter a lot for props as well, because Halliburton leads the league in potential assists per game at like 20. So he does create some shots. Now, I think the best path to or the path I'm likeliest to take today is just to not touch Pacers props. I am somewhat intrigued with Lakers props. And when Halliburton is at his best and most efficient, it does make the Pacers a better offense, and they still run at a decent to fast pace here. So a lot of implied points, 120. So I'm going to expect the Lakers to have to keep up. And I was thinking Anthony Davis might be the way that we do that. Because of their undersized front court, the Pacers don't project particularly well in terms of total rebounding. If we look at the rebound rates, the Pacers are bottom 8 in overall rebound rate, and they are bottom 4 in defensive rebound rate. So I'm kind of interested in maybe getting involved with some Anthony Davis stuff. So before we do that, let's just see what's on the board for the Lakers. LA. Let's just put Lakers. Okay, cool. 10.5 rebounds for AD, 24.5 points, 45.5 fantasy points. Does that seem low to anyone else? Maybe I'm tripping. He started last game, played 37 minutes. That was after going to overtime, playing 34 minutes. That 37 minutes seems like what? I have him for 54 fantasy points. Guys, I might not even go too deep in the props. I'm at like a 10-point difference in fantasy scores. So let's go at least get some actionable Anthony Davis, LeBron on the court per minute stuff. LeBron under 46. You like some LeBron unders here in the chase for Kareem? I don't think I had the stomach for that. AD 1.57 fantasy points per game. Man, let me double check this tag. Probable AD. I'm gonna nominate AD fantasy points right off the rip, y'all. That just seems criminally low if he's actually in for full minutes. So when he goes to the locker room, that's just dumb low, right? Like somebody tell me I'm not losing my mind. There's no way, like there's no. Let's go popcorn machine. He had 57 last time they played. Yeah, the Pacers are pretty soft matchup. There's a lot of good history. I don't over rely on historical stats. I think that is maybe a weakness in the Fields game right now, is they keep using these sites that tell you how many times they hit versus this matchup. That's not really, results aren't necessarily predictive. This that did go to overtime, but it still offered us 30 plus minutes. So we'll take out 5 minutes in OT. So that's back-to-back games of OT, but that's still 32 minutes. So 32 minutes times on 1.5 fantasy point per minute production against a team like the Pacers. I mean, let's throw it as a lean for now. That'll give me an out for an injury-prone guy, but I think I'm gonna fall in love with that prop. What up, Absolute? Elsewhere, I'm probably not too attached to any of these Lakers individually. We'll look at the board just for the heck of it. 24.5 points. Cool. LeBron James is at 29.5 points. On his chase for Kareem. We only get LeBron and AD props, nothing else. Okay. And then Pacers, I can't see myself wanting to play anything on the Pacers. 3-point, they got Buddy Hill at 3.5 threes. That's fair. It's just like, wow. Yeah, I'm just gonna jot AD down and keep it moving. Here, what up, Sean? What up, Jason? I may be overthinking this too much, but I'm pretty sure LeBron wants to break the record at home. This may be AD's. Yeah, but also, like, LeBron is not at risk of breaking the record tonight, right? He's still, like, 90 points away or something. I don't know what the official number is, but I'm sure somebody can find it. So, like, you can put in some grunt work for it. What up, Josh? James over rebounds. LeBron James. That's not how you spell that. 7.5 rebounds. We just look at what the market has versus the projections. Certainly a plus rebound matchup. We've already talked about the inequities defensively or rebound wise for the Pacers. I've got LeBron right now at 9 rebounds, so that's a healthy over. And then we'll compare it to the market. Rebounds, 89 points for Bron. Yeah, so it'll probably be 3 or 4 games. Probably 3 if he's just having average LeBron games. LeBron. All right, so it looks like the market's middling right now, 8.5 or 7.5 in some spots. So market's all over the place. So on a 7.5 point line, we're seeing a little bit of a strong lean on the over in some spots. DraftKings minus 130, but a lot of places already moved this line to 8.5. So either way, I'm kind of my projections on the over. So like I would agree with the 7.5. I don't think I'm gonna add it to my rotation tonight, but I don't think you're off base for seeking out some LeBron overs in terms of rebounds. 59 days to opening day. Pitchers and catchers on Valentine's Day, right? We're going to have some spring training by the end of this month. Then we got World Baseball Classic. I'm in. Jaren Jackson's doubtful. Yeah. All right. Cavs hosting the Grizzlies. 223.5 total. So on paper, this is a fast-paced team against a slow-paced team. And then also on paper, 2 of the best defenses in all of basketball. If we look at the defensive rating, Memphis and Cleveland are top 2. So that could change when you think about the absence in that front court, right? No Jaren Jackson, no Steven Adams. Grizzlies on night 2 of a back-to-back had to go 12 rounds with the limping Blazers and Damian Lillard. So there is perhaps some opportunity here. I don't quite know what I would or want to expect or project in terms of prop shopping. Do we even have Memphis props? Just Ja and let's see, Ja's at 27.5 points. I'd be somewhat interested in the under for that, and I'll talk you through it. Desmond, so first of all, he's averaging like 27.5 per game, right? I know he went off last night, but when Desmond Bane and Dylan Brooks are in, they can score a little bit more too. And then we've talked about Ja's points in the paint. Ja scores 15 of his 27 points per game in the paint, meaning he drives to the rack a lot. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, when they're healthy, they're one of the harder teams to score on in the paint because of Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. Cavs get the 3rd fewest points in the paint. So let's look at a couple things here. Ja Morant, points by game log versus the Cavaliers last 10 games. 24, 26, 37. So it's 37, 34 minutes in 2021. May not 2021. That's before Mobley, right? No, it wasn't. All right, Mobley played 38 minutes that game. Jared Allen played 29. And then for Memphis, they didn't have Brooks and Bane. They just had Bane. All right. What's the model got on Ja? What does Ja think of all this? 25. Kind of leaning the under. Lastly, I guess we would look at let's put Ja, Brooks, and Bane on the court. I'm gonna take out Jaren. I'm not gonna mess with Adams. He's not that big of a offensive input. So Ja's usage still at 34%, so still pretty doggone high. But like I said, half of his shots are for 2, and likely within X amount of feet of the rim. Let me see some player advanced stats. Ja. Oh, you know what? Let me just bring up the NBA stats page off of that. I don't know. It's probably never going to be a comfortable click, but I'm kind of, if I had to pick one, I'm probably leaning the under. Research first, then we'll check out the market value. What up, Jake? What up, Tristan? Julius Randle under 40.5. I've seen his unders floating around today as well. How do you feel about Mason Plumlee over 13.5 points? I could get down to it. So Ja is 6th in the league in buckets within less than 5 feet per game. I just don't want him to have like 15 free throws, you know? He had 18 free throws last night. I'll probably leave that alone. If I had to lean one way, it would have been on the under. But such a high usage guard can certainly pick up some fouls. So if I had to, but just out of curiosity, what's the feel on that? I'll probably like put it like way down here in the leads. Ja Morant under 27.5 points. Question mark on it. Question mark on it. Control F Ja. It's pretty even. No one's really got a strong opinion on it. BB after getting spanked at home. Spanked. All right. I don't really have anything else on the other side. I guess we'd take a look at what Garland's assists are or anything like that. He's at 8.5 assists. I don't hate it. Donovan Mitchell's at 2.5 turnovers. Nothing here just screaming at me. Maybe there's some value on the front court guys' fantasy points because of maybe models not adjusting as they should for the matchup. So, for instance, I've got Jared Allen and Evan Mobley both pushing a 40 fantasy point projection. And on PrizePicks, they are 33.5 for Jared Allen. Mobley is at 34.5. So I wouldn't want to sweat those together, but there's certainly a path that the matchup is maybe not being fully accounted for, and the minutes are absolutely going to be there for a guy like Jared Allen. So I'm a little bit intrigued in that, but nothing that I think is going to make the list right now. Heat at the Knicks, 215.5 total, 2-point spread in favor of the visiting Miami Heat. So right off the rip, you guys have mentioned, and I've seen it floating around Twitter as well, about some of the Julius Randle unders. I'm feeling like I can get down with that. We'll kind of put some facts behind it. So New York, we've got Julius Randle lines at 40.5 PRA and a 45.5 fantasy score. So just straight up referring to fantasy DVP, the Miami Heat, who are already one of the slowest paced, best defenses. Why is that one red? Bottom 4 in terms of fantasy points per allowed to opposing power forwards, and I think they're bottom 1 against centers. So not a great front court matchup. They rebound okay defensively. They give up amongst the fewest points in the paint. Julius Randle doesn't necessarily get all of his points in the paint, but as a big, that's a half of them, right? But he does chuck threes at a decent enough clip, and the Heat do give up threes at a decent enough clip. Let's see, what is he averaging? 11. Let's go 15, 36, 37 PRA per game is what he's averaging, and he's facing a team that's going to bring the pace all the way down. Well, meet them in pace and defense. What's the projection on him? Julius Randle. I'm at 38. I'm on the under. What's the field at? What up, Vic? Randall. Yeah, Phil looks like it's holding hands on a coin flip. I would lean the under. The projections like the under. The matchup is a tougher one. I don't mind that. Let's see. How's Julius Randle performed against Bam Adebayo? Let's go FTP by game log versus Bam Adebayo. Last 10 games. We'll focus more on a per minute and like in the last 2 seasons. Because Jalen Brunson certainly changes things up. So he hasn't played him this season. Last year wasn't great, but I don't want a 1-to-1 this year to last year because I don't think that's fair. It's a lot of overlap, but the point guard situation is a lot different with Jalen Brunson. But I do think I would lean the under. It's kind of a looser one, so we'll go lean. We'll go lean. Julius Randle under 40.5 PRA. I'm with you, chat. We'll do that. Anything else from this game? Oladipo was doubtful, right? Are we willing to do anything off of that information? 27 minutes against Cleveland, representing some peripherals. I guess we can look at the minute rotation in that game to kind of see what it would do here. Yeah, what up, Ayo? Hope you're doing all right. So Depot overlap with Vincent Strus, a little bit of Hero. Yeah, I don't really want to act on that. Not in this particular matchup. Get Jimmy in the garden, Hero in the garden. I don't really feel like that matters to me. I guess you could say if we're taking volume or production away from Julius Randle, do we want to replace that 1-to-1 and give it to like a Brunson, or are we just straight up saying, nah, this is a defense slow paced game? I think I'm leaning closer to the second. Just less implied possessions, right? Just perusing through the Heat options. Jimmy, 4.5 assists, cool. 39.5 fantasy points. Any threes? 1.5 threes for Lowry. Yikes. Caleb Martin had a big game last slate. 30.5, 21.7, 30.4. I think there's a couple of games where we're missing some guys, but 30.5 against the Cavs is easier said than done. Do we think that he could benefit without Depot? Maybe. But I really don't know that I want to put too much action on Caleb Martin. 10 rebounds. I'm going to leave that alone. After your props, can you review my NBA DK lineup from last 2 nights? I'll tip you 20. Yeah, Ego, if you don't mind, could we do that next show? We're gonna do the prop show, and then when we go live next in like 40 minutes, I'd be glad to start the show looking at that lineup. Kyle Lowry 1.5 threes over. So here's a unique. So 3-point frequency allowed by opposing teams. Miami Heat and the New York Knicks funnel teams to shoot 42 and 43% of their shots from behind the arc. The Knicks allow the 3rd most 3-point attempts per game. 13.1 makes, which is top 5. So looking at the Heat, in terms of who's chucking threes, Lowry shoots the 2nd most threes behind Tyler Hero. And there's no Depot. 5, 7, 5. 6, 9, 3. So Is Hero at 2.5 and Lowry 1.5? If Lowry's at 1.5, we could justify it. He's at 1.5. What's Hero at? If he's even offered, he is not. So Lowry 1.5 threes. Let me see something. What's the market at? Want me to send the tip now, right? That's something. You don't even have to tip, Ego. I'll just look at it. Lowry. There's a lot of juice on the over. Like a lot of juice on the over in spots. 140 and so I would say the matchup, if we start checkboxing this, other than the fact that it's Kyle Lowry, what's going for him here? The matchup breeds threes. There's no Oladipo, a couple extra implied minutes potential, and the market's on the over. So let's add it to the list. Kyle Lowry. Cool. Q. Charlotte Hornets at the Chicago Bulls, 236.5 total. Bulls favored by 6. So we've seen this matchup a few times now, and I always get like caught up in how glorious of a spot it is for Vucevic. And then we kind of discussed this yesterday. Our boy Tizzle was on Keegan Murray, and it was just like, it makes so much sense for this one guy to explode in this spot, but then you just kind of lose sight of the fact it's a super great matchup for everybody. And that's kind of what we've seen out of Vucevic against the Hornets. It's like, yeah, he should go ballistic, but really so should DeRozan, so should Levine. 16 shot attempts on the 26th against Charlotte, 9 rebounds, just 25 fantasy points. When I say he was my highest owned center that night and gave me 25, and then immediately, like, it's in a sandwich of like 50 fantasy points, right? 49, 41, 25, 54. He should go bananas and nuclear in this matchup. Didn't last time, and I also think, like I said, it is a little bit of a product of how it's just a super plus matchup for everybody, and a team like the Bulls are gonna vulture each other's ceiling time to time. But both games this season for Vucevic has been a little bit underwhelming for fantasy. But I'm willing to just kind of like trust the process here. So not necessarily just getting stuck on Vooch here. This is a healthy enough total that I want to attack. Who do we get in on? And the Hornets with LaMelo Ball, I am curious to run a offensive efficiency. I guess we'll just look at his individual offensive efficiency. LaMelo has a 112.5 offensive rating. So in a team standpoint, Charlotte Hornets offensive efficient, let's go rating. Offensive rating without LaMelo Ball this season. Golf is tough. What up, Top Bill? Oh, man. 107.4 offensive rating without LaMelo. 113. Good Lord, that's a very significant jump forward. So we could kind of trust the Hornets to stay a little bit more competitive here. Super plus spot for Vooch. I have him at almost 50 fantasy points. DeRozan 47, Levine 45 essentially. So looking at Chicago, what's offered? What's Vooch? Wow, they him at 13.5 rebounds. I get it, but wow. 2 above his average. Is it really juiced like that? Averaging 11.1 rebounds per game, and their line is 13.5. What is smoking the line like that? I feel like they're overcorrecting for the Hornets. See what the model had. Dude, 13.5 rebounds. Of course I'm on the over, right? Of course. I'm not actually gonna sweat 13.5 rebounds. Twelve and a half. Dang. Okay. So somebody asked about Mason Plumlee points, right? 13.5. Averaging 12.2 on the season. Lately, he's been pretty efficient for his minutes. 12, 6, 9, 10 shot attempts. It's probably going to end up being something I don't want to sweat ultimately. Averaging 16 points per game against them. A couple of free throws. He's averaging almost 40 fantasy points per game against them. Do we have a mid-20s fantasy prop for Mason Plumlee? 32.5. We don't, man. They're ready for this. All right. The Bulls. We talk about 3-point frequency. I believe we attacked Terry Rozier in this spot last time and he hit 2 pretty early. So let's see if we can get back into chasing that, just to have a little stake in this one. Let's see. The Chicago Bulls allow the 5th most 3-point frequency, 4th most 3-point attempts per game, the 2nd most 3-point made per game. And we know LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier will be the guys that chuck the most threes here. 8 per game on Rozier, 11 per game on LaMelo. So do we get any 2.5s for Charlotte, specifically on Rozier at 2.5? LaMelo is at 3.5. So we get a lighter line on Rozier if we can buy into some efficiency. I'm kind of interested. 3-point attempts. A little bit of juice on the over. I would put that as a lean. Terry Rozier, 2.5 threes. While we're here, what's the market on LaMelo? Market likes the over 3.5 too. I probably won't feel inclined to sweat that, but he is gonna let loose in front of. Well, I don't even know if Lonzo. I doubt Lonzo's been at those games, but I don't know. 9, 13, 11. I'll take Terry Rozier's threes from the Hornets side. I don't really have the strongest of leans on the Bulls side. We were dabbling with unders for like DeSumo with Caruso, Kobe White, all those guys in the blender, Goran Dragic. But I probably won't get there today. Pelicans at the Mavericks. Sweating golf lineups. Look at the leaderboard and see that golfer I put in my lineup has already withdrew from the tournament. Oh, man. I haven't played golf DFS in years. I just never been able to get into golf. I wish I could because there's a lot of money in golf. But it's just boring to me. Mavericks, Pelicans, 223.5 total, 4.5 point spread. Favor of the Mavericks here. So I guess the Pelicans made it by hook or by crook. There was some ice concerns here in Texas. Luka is it for me on the Mavs for DFS. Haven't dabbled in player props for anything past Luka Doncic. I guess just to paint a picture, we can look at Dallas trickle down effect when Luka's in, taking off, I guess, Christian Wood. What do you think about Vooch free throws on PrizePicks? What are they at? First of all, how often he's getting to the line? 0, 2, 2. Almost rarely getting to the line. Like 1 foul per game. So I'm guessing 1.5 would be his line. Half a free throw. That is really low for a guy that takes that much volume, right? I get it. You're just sweating a foul. I wouldn't have a strong lean, but I would. If you told me that you just want to take a shot on a one foul and a guy that's going to take 15 to 20 shot attempts a game, like I wouldn't fault you. But that's just something that's probably not gonna make my slips. Ben Rouse is the guy. Yo, Ben Rouse is a genius. My boy Luke, pretty fire with the golf too. I've had Luke on this channel a few times for some NBA content and some football content. And then during golf, he just, he's so tied up with that. But man, he is growing so rapidly. I'm so proud of him. Go back to this query for Luka on, Christian Wood off. Luka 34% usage rate. Everyone else, nothing. So it's all Luka all the time. And we have 34, oh my God, 34.5 point prop. Sheesh. 58.5 fantasy. So this is top shelf stuff. 8.5 free throws. That's intriguing. Especially against a team like New Orleans that'll throw like Alvarados at you and be pesky and aggressive. I probably it's too expensive. Too expensive. On the Pelican side, Brandon Ingram's a name I've seen a few times today. Couple games back, got up to 33 minutes against Denver. Ultimately, though, slow-paced matchup. I don't really have the strongest of leans for one guy specifically. I guess without... actually, I don't know. Why do I have Alvarado listed here? I don't really have a lean here, so I probably don't force it. Did you guys have anything on the Pelican side or the Mavs side that you wanted to get in behind? I saw Ingram's name in chat a few times. 20.5 points. It's low enough, sure. But I am a little bit hesitant on, I suppose, minutes, right? But 33 is a good sign. So 34, 35 wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility. What website do you use for those stats? Which stats? The on-off stuff, I use NBA Valley via add more funds. Francisco, thank you for the sub. 2 golf tourneys of the year. I drafted lineups where I had 6 golfers make the cut, turned 3 into 15, then 3 into 12. Nice. I don't know what any of that means, but profit's profit. Nah, I know what make the cut means. Warriors at the Nuggets. So we don't have official news here, do we? But we're just expecting that the Warriors are punting this game into oblivion. And there's nothing on the board, right? No. What about for Denver? So we could just like pass on this game, right? We do have Denver stuff. Would anybody take Jokic's unders? They didn't give us a fantasy projection. Or no, they did 56.5. I still don't want to sweat that. The thought being, would you take his unders and just expect this game to be over? We've seen the line open at 9. It's already up to like 12. It's a back-to-back for Golden State. They went to overtime into the altitude narrative, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to sweat anything under on Jokic. But if the game is getting sideways, maybe at halftime you can jump on some Jokic under second half. But I really don't have a lean. I'll probably stay. Are you guys touching this game? I'm probably not. Until they drop official Warriors news and props. It's really nothing to look at, you know. What about Halliburton? Vic, the main concern I would have with Halliburton is minutes. First game back in a couple weeks, right? Take one shot on Murray, real points. You think so? So Murray was questionable with injury management last game, and he ended up playing and going off 32 real points. But if they're like really concerned with that, you know what I mean? would this not be a shot where you could take your pick and rest them? I don't know. I'm just speculating, but yeah, I'm with you though. What do you think of Butler above 21.5 fantasy points? Wait, 21.5 points. So we looked at that game a little while ago. I didn't have a strong take because it is going to be slow paced, low implied scoring, and the Heat are relatively healthy outside of Depot being down. If 21's the mark, just based on what the projection would say model wise, I have Butler at 18.4. So the model would push me and sway me under. If we look at the market for Butler via Odds Shopper, Control F, Butler. It's a coin flip in the market essentially. So me personally, I don't really have a lean. I pick my battles on these streets, as you guys can tell. If I had let my model do the talking, I'd be on the under, just assuming it's a slow paced, low scoring game. But and Jimmy doesn't shoot threes like that either, right? 1.9 3-point attempts per game. So here's a team in the Knicks that are actually pretty good at funneling opponents to shoot threes more and give up the second fewest points per game. So we're talking pace, interior defense, fully healthy team. I would lean the under, but I probably am not gonna put my money where my mouth is on that one. But that's the answer. I would lean the under. All right, Lakers. What the Huda? Clippers. 230 total, 4-point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks at home are just 4-point favorites here. See, Giannis, we good? We good? Probable, yeah. What about the Clippers side? I like Halliburton. Doug, what are you thinking about Halliburton's minutes tonight? It feels like it could be one of those spots where, like, yeah, we'll monitor his minutes, and everyone thinks he's gonna play 27, and then the dude turns around and plays 38. But all that's just like, unquantifiable bull crap. So I don't know what to do with that. In a second, I'll go back and just see what the board is for Hallie. LA. Looks like everyone's going. And Marcus Morris said he was going to play. So we got a fully healthy Clippers team. Sense of urgency to score is high against this team. Paul George, intriguing at 8,300. But this is a prop show. I don't know. Let's look at the board. Let's put Clippers. Ingram over turnovers. You think so? Five free throws for Kawhi. Norman Powell is at 16.5 points. Is that a little overreactionary? Let's look into that. Because I know he went off last game, but Marcus Morris was out. Points by game log. Let's go last 30. Let's go last 10 games. I believe it'll be a full go there and bringing him a second before he's ready. Points or rebounds for LeBron. Ooh. Man, that's a tough one. I'd probably lean rebounds, but they're both. Yeah, that's tough. They're both like very probable. If LeBron doesn't play, AD surely will play. No, yeah, AD. I'm already on AD more than I should be, and I already know that it's going to end in a locker room trip. But AD at 45.5 fantasy points just like lit up my eyes. Let's see. The Norman Powell points by game log last 10 games. And his line is at 16.5. Alright. It's enough to annoy me. but I have half of mine to go through every single one of these overs and point at a reason. Dang it, dang it, they were all in. Fudge. All right, I'm leaving it alone. But I'm watching you, Norman Powell. Buck side, I don't really have. I feel like everything's gonna be priced appropriately on the Buck side. Maybe are we still taking advantage of no Portage for like, I don't know, Pat Connaughton or Brolo? 1.5 threes for Brolo. That's fun. NBA is rigged. What up, J. Cole? It's rigged, bro. The only 2 picks I lost last night were rigged. That's because in the script, Sohan was supposed to get injured. Initially, they wanted Sohan to come back second half, you know, but they just went ahead and kept him out the whole game. And then they wrote for the Nets to get smoked by the Celtics. Rigged, I tell you, rigged. 3.5 turnovers for Giannis. What are we thinking here? I'm kind of intrigued. All right, a little pickpocket action here. Paul George, Kawhi, both averaging 1.5 steals per game. Giannis can get a little sloppy with it. If we can get like a 36 plus minutes out of Giannis, I'm a little bit interested. Bro, he had 12 turnovers against the Raptors, dude. Good lord. That's wild. I'm somewhat intrigued in that. I don't think we can check the market on that though, so we'll just leave that as a hunch. The world is a stage and we are actors. Though, you know, and it's a flat stage, you know? I'm either making some people really mad or really happy out there. I can't tell. What about these role players? Connaughton, we got anything for Connaughton, Ingles? Ingles is at 6.5 points, 2.5 assists. So what are they doing? What is a guy like Ingles doing when he's on the court? Howling for 53 fantasy points. So I had Hallie, let's see, Control F, Halliburton. I'm at 41, but it's because I'm stuck on the minutes. I put him at 28. But if, I mean, like, obviously if that was a full goal, if he was like a 36-minute player, you know, per minute, we're getting closer to 50. And it's the Lakers. They're implied for 120. So I'm with you on the per minute production. I think we're just different places on the minute projection. But like, I'm fine with assuming that he would be fully cleared to go. I just really don't know what to expect. So maybe I'll start swaying that a little bit more as we get closer to lock. If you told me he's playing 35 minutes, yeah, I'm all in on Hallie. That's my boy. And it feels like more often this season than not, when players come back, they're just off the rip, ready to go, right? We've even seen Chris Paul do that. So, yeah, maybe I should be a little bit more aggressive. And sometimes in this market, or at least in DFS, wait and see will cost you tournaments. Like, I want to see it first. No. You want to project it before everybody else does. So I think you're fine doing that. Ingles been stealing Drew dimes. So, yeah, that's what we were going to look at is when Joe Ingles is on the court. He has a 21% assist rate. Just straight up, right? And his assist prop is 2.5. Indubitably. I'm on the fence. I'm probably not going to bet money on Joe Ingles tonight. 1.5 blocks and steals for Drew is always fun. I don't really have super strong leans in this one. So far I don't love this list. But I will say I'm thinking about AD as a core. 45.5 fantasy points in this particular matchup. Even if we think back-to-back overtimes is a little bit lucky for the minutes, right? He was still playing 30 minutes in that stretch. And then what happened here? What happened here? Let's go rotation. Lakers. Jared Allen and Locke don't go together. Oh man. So I only had one foul in that game, huh? You got Halliburton 35. Yeah, so a 7-point difference, or excuse me, a 7-minute difference certainly could mean 13, 14 fantasy points. Grabbed AD 9+ boards at minus 667. So I was on the fantasy points. Do we think boards is a hedge here? Just he does, like, AD will get blocks like crazy too, dude. Yeah. Let's see. Where the Pacers at in blocks per game? Blocks per game allowed. Indiana's top 10. So I kind of just want, on such a low opportunity fantasy point wise, like if AD had 3 blocks tonight, I wouldn't be stunned. He's averaging 2 blocks per game, 1 point. So you're telling me, good lord, that's like 9 to 10 implied fantasy points on peripherals alone. So we just like need 30. Basically 35 fantasy points on points and rebounds and assists. Man, I don't know, man. I can't get off this AD. I swear if he gets injured tonight, I'm gonna promote AD to a core. So what we've gotten so far is AD over 45.5 fantasy points. Also want to point out that I'm projecting him for 54, so a 10-point gap is wild. Randall under 40.5. These are on the leans. Randall under 40.5 PRA. Lowry over 1.5 threes. Rozier over 2.5 threes. A looser lean would be Ja under 27.5 points. My worry here is the fouls or the free throws. Are we getting free throws like that for the Knicks? Yeah. You like Drew for 2 stocks? Well, I don't mind that. I guess we could look at steals, the steal market for Drew. If it's at 1.5, I would imagine it might be at 2. Is that minus? It's plus money on the over for 1.5. Well, that's just straight up steals, though. That's not fair. All right. All right, chat. Throw me some more props here. When's the next show? 15 minutes. So we could probably do 5 to 8 minutes of just looking at props real quick. So if I didn't touch on something that you liked, or if you want to have the group look at one, throw it in chat, and then we'll look at it. And then if you are just here, if you're new to the channel, just looking for prop insight. After this show, we're going to reset the clock. We're going to go live again and break things down, adding a DraftKings and FanDuel and Yahoo lens to everything. But we're still looking at matchups. We're looking at data, and I'll be glad to talk about player props as well. But this show is specifically to dabble in the prop research. So yeah, I never thought the NBA was rigged until starting bets. Welcome all you new sports bettors. Dominique, what do you have Jared Allen fantasy points at? I have it at 37. Yeah, I think I was close to 40 myself. I had him at 39, so it's over what they have, and it also fits the I don't know what I'm going to say here. How do we? So the Grizzlies, their front court defense is notoriously good, but it's also Jaren Jackson Jr. and Steven Adams. Today, it's neither, and it's night 2 of a back-to-back. So it's a net plus, right, for the situation. So I am on the over versus the PrizePicks line. It's probably not something I'm going to put a lot of stake in, but we'll see. Appreciate the sub, Dante. Strange one, but Bucks first quarter win is just a game prop. Well, I like that. I saw that yesterday with the somebody was pushing that for Sixers and Magic. Luka assists Tyrone. Man, that man is just scoring right now. I'm scared to think about him passing the ball. 7.5 assists. To who? It's a low line. What's the market at? I don't want to meme the team too bad, but it'd be like Tim Hardaway and Spencer Dinwiddie would have to score those, right? Jordan Mobley at 7 boards for minus 1,112. Dude, you're telling me there's an $800 difference or 800-point difference? Luka. 7.5. So I will say this, Tyrone. 7.5 looks like it's bound to move soon because some books are already at minus 142 on the over. So in just terms of expected value or plus EV, I would say there's value in over 7.5 assists for Luka, which this right here might keep the average PrizePicks player from clicking the over, but there is value relative to the market in the over. I'm having trust issues with the rest of this team. Jonathan Morales, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome. Jokic touchdown. Yeah, I can see Jokic touchdown. No, Jokic triple-double. Ryan, I don't disagree with that. I am very, very scared of that game getting lopsided with the Warriors likely punting that. Last night, overtime, 40 minutes for guys like Steph. The market, I think, was bracing for that, opening at 9. Now it's at 12. So I think it's very likely we don't see Steph, we don't see Clay, we don't see Draymond, maybe someone else. So absolutely Jokic can triple-double, but like, is there a fourth quarter to this game is my worry. And a lot of times the backups of the backups come in and blow out the other team. So it is what it is, but that would be my on-paper pessimism. So Hank killed me last night. Yeah, he got hurt. And what sucks, he got hurt, and then he was like 0 for 4, 0 for 5 before he got hurt. We don't play top shelf props, yeah. But I mean, if you think there's value on Jokic triple-double, I don't know, what is it, plus 600? We've seen Jokic get triple-doubles in like 18 minutes, so it is what it is. But that's not something that is probably on my board. Adebayo points and rebounds, take off assists. All right, anything else for you guys? We still got a little bit of time. I don't need to push out of here. What up, Dez? You're Tillman 6 for 7? Or are you saying he's 6'7"? So height doesn't necessarily make you a good or bad defender, if that's what you're getting at. And I'm not saying he's a bad defender. I'm just saying the season-long metrics that we're going off of for the Grizzlies specifically are Jaren Jackson Jr., who's got a good shot at Defensive Player of the Year, and Steven Adams, who's just a rock in the front court. So I'm just saying it's not the same matchup as the metrics portray. So I'm not necessarily saying Aldama, Tillman, Brandon Clark are traffic cones. I'm just saying that it's probably a more favorable matchup than the metrics,
super
right?
chatted $5. Just showing love, Gun. Thanks for what you do on here. God bless.
Young homie Dez, I appreciate you, bro. I gotta get rid of this mustache, bro. We are drinking some Blue Machine. I don't know what's in it, but it's pretty tasty. No sugar added. We got a match in 2 weeks, so we're trying to get right. Apple juice, banana puree, blueberry puree. I don't know what this is. Carrot juice. Yum. Thank you so much, Dez. Thank you. It says celebrate the first super chat from Dez. Is there a button for that? How do I celebrate? It just says celebrate. Huh. I'm celebrating you. Luka assists. Yeah, Josh, I think like we said, there's value in the market for Luka's assist. A lot of vig on the over. So just implied value is there. If that's all you care about, then it's there for you. It's probably not going to make my list though. Tillman is 4'10", 4'10". Him and Adam went to school together. Thank you guys. Hey, if you guys want to help me out, hit the thumbs up on this video. Let me see. We started, so yesterday we had like 30, 40 new subs. We started today, we're already up like 10 subs on the day. So, man, we can get 30, 40 subs a day, bro. We might have 1,000 sub months, man. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Hopefully in the next show, we'll also stumble across some more. I really don't love this board right now. Like, like I want a little bit more, and I want to feel a little bit more conviction on a couple plays to get behind. So if you guys are hanging out the next couple hours on the other show and something, you know, tickles at you, man, let me know, man. We'll try and add to this. And then once I get a more polished list, or when I'm feeling like that is the final list, I'll throw it in the free Discord and the rundfs.com Discord. I liked yesterday. Yesterday was pretty strong. Hopefully we can double back on that. If you're not in the free Discord, it is this one, right? I believe there's a link in the description below. Jump in there and share some picks, man. Even if it's not something I'm on. If you guys are on something you want to share it with the class, do so. Looking for some mods in there. Keep things going. Just hit me up. CP3 took a crap. Oh my god. If I wasn't already dead in the water for DFS last night, Chris Paul would have stung. But man, on FanDuel, I literally think I went 0 for 25 lineups because Trey Jones, Jeremy Sohan, I had Jeremy Grant crushing it in the first half, by the way. So if you're thinking about the Memphis Grizzlies front court, and Nurkic got hurt, it was just all bad. Like every injury that was on the slate yesterday, I was well over the field on in my lineups yesterday. It was not a fun time. And then I had a ton of 8K Chris Paul, who just was not, he was not that guy, pal. Oof. Grizz game should be a 3-fest. It could be. It also will probably be slow pace, but maybe the pace goes up a little bit more. All right. So let's reset. I'm gonna turn off for like 10 minutes, get me a bang, double check some of these projections. I'll be back in a few moments with the DFS show. So if you guys want to hang out a little bit more, definitely drop in there. We're gonna break down each game again. The link to that is in there. If you would do me a favor, just hit that thumbs up before you skedaddle, and I would appreciate it. I see the Jake. So again, it says celebrate first super chat, but like, what am I supposed to do to celebrate? It's just, do you guys see that, or is that just me? Is that like a streamer tip? Hey, somebody just donated. You should celebrate. Do I bring out a party? Bing bong. Bing bong.
Jake Swales super chatted $2. Oh my god, I just wanna say your.
She said it wrong. I let the super chat hit. All right, guys, I love you guys. I'll be back in a couple minutes. If you're out of here, I appreciate you. Twitter.com/Gundacker. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.